Last year, I made and submitted a game called Robbery in Reverse for the Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam. Since then, I knew that I wanted to create a full game, and over the past few months, I've been looking for ideas. Now I'm ready to start designing it. I'm making a first-person shooter in Unity, and I'm going to show you how I started my prototype. So I started off by laying out a simple environment in ProBuilder, then populating with rudimentary objects. It's not pretty, but it's functional. After that, I implemented a first-person controller, inventory system, and event system, all of which I found on YouTube. I put some scripts together to make the game functional, and now I have the beginning of a first-person shooter. But then I realized if I'm going to make a first-person shooter, then I kinda need weapons. I started looking on YouTube, but I wasn't happy with most of what I found, and instead decided to write my own code. So I did a bigger brainstorming and was able to come up with something that's functional, maybe. Okay, here's what I came up with. Brace yourself for the messiest spaghetti code you've ever seen. You have 3 scripts, a weapon data script, a weapon script, and a weapon switching manager script. The weapon data script inherits from scriptable object. It has a game object for the actual prefab of the weapon and a vector3 for the weapon offset. The weapon script has a weapon function which takes in a weapon data. It also has an equip and unequip function. The weapon switching manager has a dictionary holding different weapon datas and weapons respectively. This acts as your weapon inventory. When you want to pick up a weapon, you interact with the game object version of the weapon, which calls the add function on the weapon switching manager and passes through the weapon data. The manager adds a new weapon accordingly to the list and tells that weapon to call the equip function, which will create the actual weapon object with its own shooting script and set its parent to the player. That's the easy part. The hard part is weapon switching, which needs 3 functions on the part of the manager script. 1 for figuring out the index of the next weapon, 1 to unequip the previous weapon, and 1 to equip the next weapon. To actually switch weapons, the manager tells the current weapon script to unequip, which in turn tells the shooting script on the actual game object to unequip, and when that's finished, it calls back to the singleton instance on the weapon switching manager script. Then and only then is the next weapon equipped. Now if you're confused, don't worry, so am I. With that out of the way, now it was time for me to implement the weapons. I started by typing up the scripts I just mentioned, adjusting as needed, and setting up values for this axe. Now I was able to pick up the axe, but I encountered a few issues. First of all, it would lock to my screen at whatever angle I picked it up at. To fix this, I simply changed an incorrect line of code and now it was working properly. I think that for now this is a good stopping point. There's a really solid foundation here. We have a first-person character that can move around an environment, interact with stuff, and pick up weapons. Next time, I'll work on weapon switching and functionality. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you're subscribed, feel free to let us know in the comments. I'll try to respond to all of them. If you have an itch.io account, make sure to follow SMK Games over there, because that's where I'll be putting the free demo once it's ready. Alright, have a great day everyone. See you next time.